Good afternoon. I'm here at Miller's Cornfield at Antietam. Gave a talk this morning in Boonesboro on Civil War nurse Mariah Hall. So I figured I'd come out here and show you what Miller's Cornfield looked like. Excuse the shaky camera there. I'm the only person here in the Miller's Cornfield. It is cold, it is snowing. But it's a great time to be here. And I've been here many, many times. I don't think I've been here when it snowed. And I'm going to show you, here we go, give you a vantage point here. Back there is the David R. Miller farmhouse. You can see it right over that modern building right there. And of course, out in the distance is the old Hagerstown Pike, and if you can see through the snow, which is falling a little more quickly, the Dunker Church is out in the distance, and then there's the Visitor Center, built around, I think, 1963, 1962 in the distance. And some of the fiercest fighting of the Civil War took place here on September 17th, 1862. And the perspective you have now, that is the Union perspective. They marched across this field behind me. And I'm going to walk back and kind of give you the perspective of the Confederates, which would be this perspective right here. The North Woods are in the distance, in the far distance. That's where my car is parked. As I started walking the cornfield trail way in the distance, and then off to the right, that's the East Woods over there. Straight ahead is the monument for General Joseph Mansfield, Union general, who was mortally wounded in the East Woods the morning of September 17th, 1862. And the Park Service is replanting the East Woods to its 1862 appearance. It'll take a while. They did the same thing with the West Woods about 2 decades ago. So we're gonna go up this way just a little distance, excuse my finger, and kind of show you a little bit of the Miller's Cornfield, which was obviously known as the Bloody Cornfield. Again, some of the fiercest fighting of the Civil War took place here, September 17th, 1862. And it's vitally important when you come walking out here, if you ever do, watch the, look out for the groundhog holes, which you can see right there. They're all over the place, very dangerous. I'm not going to get any closer. I'm afraid of groundhogs. Deathly afraid. I'm just kidding. One time when I was over at the Miller farmhouse, there are several groundhog holes over there. I almost snapped my leg off there several years ago. And I'm really fortunate to be able to come here fairly often. We live in Connecticut, so it's not that far for me to get here. I know some of you don't get a chance to come to Antietam and see what this is like, so we'll give you a snapshot here on, I guess, in this video, and you can see for yourself. And again, it's a cold day here at Antietam. The Park Service has done a tremendous job of with the battlefield. There are many trails you can walk. There's a Farms Trail. This is the Cornfield Trail. It's about, I think it's a couple miles or so, but it's really neat to walk this. And I have a habit when I'm walking these fields, not only to look down and be wary of groundhogs, but you never know what you'll see on the ground. I think 20 years ago now, a hiker was walking out here, it might have been less than that, and looked down and found some bones which proved to be human bones There also was several buttons he found, and he took that and he put that, collected that material and left it in the Park Service visitor center. I don't think he left his name. The Park Service came out here. I think some help with some archaeologists, obviously, and the bones were later identified as a New York, belonging to a New York soldier based on the New York seal buttons that were found with the that hiker had found, and that he found that, I believe, way off in the distance over there. All right, so we're gonna walk out to these cannon out here, and again give you a little tour of Miller's cornfield, the Miller house, the wartime houses beyond those modern buildings. And when I came here, let's see, in the 1980s, early 80s, I worked for a newspaper in Martinsburg, West Virginia at the time. I came here, and this ground was not owned by the Park Service, was not Park Service property at the time, and visited with the family who lived here, the Culler family, and did a story on a lot of the relics and stuff that they had dug up farming this property for 40 years. And it was really neat because they had a table in the driveway with gun parts and pieces of artillery shells and bullets and stuff. It was pretty neat. And again, they farmed this property for quite a long time, and they found a lot of stuff there back in the day. And I know of a relic hunter who in the 70s used to be able, with permission of the landowners, of course, came out here and back in the early 70s, and he even eyeballed Union buttons, and he just looked at the ground, didn't have a metal detector, and found some bullets and Yankee buttons. And of course he did that with the landowner's permission. Of course you cannot relic hunt on National Park Service property. Don't even think about doing that. Again, it's a little cold today, so we're gonna take you out here and show you this artillery position. And again, you got to be really careful when you come out here, because there you go. There is a groundhog hole, and if you're not careful, you can snap off an ankle very easily. And I'll just show you what's around the old groundhog hole there. Hopefully a groundhog will not pop out of that hole. I don't think so anyway. So we'll go out to the artillery position. Again, there's another groundhog hole off to my right. And again, you can see off in the distance, peeking over the ridge there, is the Miller house, which during the battle, surprisingly, did not suffer that much damage at all. And again, there's some more pesky groundhog holes out here. And here is a Union artillery position. And I'm going to turn around here in a second so you can see that perspective. Union battery was positioned here. And again, that's the Eastwoods there. And in the distance, in the far distance, you can see the Dunker Church, so you can get some sort of perspective for what it was like here on September 17th, 1862. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks for joining me on Facebook Live. And if you want to see a replay, I'll post this to my Civil War Facebook page. Have a good one.